Hey everyone, welcome to day 6 of our 7-day breathe challenge. We are exploring some core fundamentals that are included in the WildFit program. This is to give you a taste of what a WildFit challenge is like and to help you find some wins and then eventually explore doing the 90-day challenge, which is a challenge, but can have significant gains in your life. So these core 4 fundamentals are really about helping you get grounded. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Here we go. Is this the right one? Yes. Okay. And play. So welcome, and so glad to have you back. I hope that you have been enjoying the challenges that we have been bringing to you each week. We've got almost the second one under our belts, the Breathe Challenge. We started with the Hydration Challenge. Next week, we're going to explore awareness. And then the following week, we'll explore nutrition some more. So these are 4 gentle ways that if you practice some of the challenges, the homeworks that I've been giving to you, you will be able to start seeing your body accommodating release very easily. These are really essential to any sort of detox program that you're looking at. Generally, you're not going to see significant results within a short period of time. And you see a lot of detox or cleanse diets are, 3 or 7 days, and they get you started, but a lot of times they use techniques that can be a bit harsh and a bit forceful for your body. And so I want to help you to start to get some wins and to see some results so that you can create some motivation for taking this farther into a lifestyle for yourself. So that's why we're doing it the gentle way. And so that started with our hydration challenge. So ideally, you'll be drinking 6 to 8 glasses of spring water or filtered ceramic filtered water a day. Go back and watch the hydration videos if you missed them. It really talks about the quality and the quantity and how to keep yourself accountable. So that's really important. And with any detox program, you're removing things, we're releasing things, but if you're not replacing with something, you're not doing your body a service, you're doing it a disservice. So it's way more important that you add the good stuff than just to take a vacation from the bad. And so we're doing a lot of good for ourselves, a lot of self-care fundamentals in these detox challenges that we're doing each week. So with air, as we go back and review our first 2 days, again, quality, quantity, accessibility, and accountability. How is your air quality? How often are you doing deep breathing? Do you have a way to remind yourself? And are you tracking? Are you tracking your breathing? Box breathing is the recommended way that we are looking at relieving stress in the body, as well as achieving some of these other incredible benefits. It's considered to be a form of meditation to do box breathing. The longer you do it, the more controlled and synchronous your breathing and your heart are going to become. And that's going to help release that lizard brain, the back part of the brain that's connected down with your gut. And when you're tensed out and you're not breathing very deeply, shallow breathing, stressful things are happening. Your lizard brain is very active. You react with fear. When you release your lizard brain through deep breathing into your belly, holding it, releasing it, you are letting that go, and you're able to come more from your heart than from your lizard brain. So lots of great benefits, boosting your immune system, anti-aging, healthy heart, increased energy, focus, ability to reach your goals, empowering your mind, of course, relieving stress, enhancing your mood, forming boundaries, which is very important as you're establishing self-care, to create boundaries for yourself, but also sort of when you get into the flow states, losing your boundaries a little bit, losing that sense of self and being more connected with others. So really achieving an inner balance is what we're going for here. We talked about on Wednesday, we talked about the different types of plants that you can add to your environment to help purify the air. So many of the newer made things on the planet are made with chemicals, formaldehydes and xylenes and benzenes and other really sort of toxic impurities that clog up your air. And, you know, where you spend the most time, try to get some of these really incredible air purifying plants, and you'll see an improvement in what you're breathing. And then the other thing that we talked about was heart rate variability, and how that disconnect of the lizard brain and really the reconnection of your vagal nerve to all of your vital organs really helps put you into a rhythm and helps train so that you can achieve flow states. And I recommended heartmath.org to find an HRV measuring device. So you can check out their website, really incredible data that's coming out of the importance of doing this. And here's just a visual again of the box breathing. Breathing in, start at 3 seconds and then work your way up over time so that you are able to hold longer in between each one, breathing slower as you breathe in and breathe out. Really incredible process for achieving a more balanced state and releasing stress, stopping that cortisol creation that's going on in stressful times. When you stop cortisol, you're able to release fat. When you're producing cortisol, your body hangs on to the fat. So it's very important for weight loss if that's something that you're looking for. And of course, the other homework was to take a hike, get out in nature, do some nature gazing, connect with the life that's around you. So today, we're going to talk a little bit more about the meaning of air and some of the cultural and religious aspects that are, you know, quite well known are things like, you know, prana and the breath of life. I love this photo of the hot air balloons, because one of the things that is really fascinating about the element of air is that it's invisible. It's unseen. It's seen in flow and fluidity, in wind, having an action on something. You know, with the hot air balloon, it's seen through the lifting and the rising of the balloons. It's seen in the clouds and the formations and the movement. But air is not something that you can necessarily touch or hold. And so that's why it carries a bit of a magical and a certain character of mental acuity and intellect. And you know, Mercury is very associated with the element of air. You know, it's really represented in the mind and the intellect and the activity of it, that fluidity that I spoke about, and how we can see air as an element. It's all around us, yet it's quite unseen. And so as we think about its importance with our intellect and with our mind, I wanted to talk a little bit more about flow states and how by using those breath techniques, we can really help put ourselves into these flow states that produce these incredible brain-loving chemicals, neuroepinephrine, dopamine, anandamide, serotonin, and endorphins. Oh, I'm not sure how to make, there we go. So this is kind of a cool video that just kind of depicts flow a little bit. You know, these chemicals are really sort of an addictive or well, they really drive us to want to have these flow states more and more as we are able to access these chemicals, which are so vital and important for really high performing function of our brains. And you know, as we talk about later on, as we talk about awareness and nutrition, and we get into, you know, what we're putting into our bodies to help our brains, you know, those kinds of things that we're doing that are not so great for us, that science is finding leads to really debilitating brain diseases like Alzheimer's, like Parkinson's. And so the more that we can improve our brain function, you know, the happier states we're going to be in, and the longer, more quality of life we're going to have overall. So, you know, these flow states are so important because they are helping to create motivation, creativity, and learning. And this is so key for helping us to go back for more. Because as we start to experience motivation, creativity, and learning, we want more of it. It helps us to learn how to adapt to higher performances. And so, you know, neuroepinephrine and dopamine. Stephen Kotler, who wrote The Rise of Superman, and along with Jamie Wheel, they wrote Stealing Fire. These are excellent books about flow states that they explored various different types of groups that experience and get into flow states and what it does for them. But overall, these kinds of chemicals like neuroepinephrine and dopamine help to tighten focus. And when you have a tighter focus and these chemicals are firing, there's more information possible. And then what ends up happening is you get this release of anandamide, and your synapses start making connections from disparate sources, and you get this signal to noise ratio starts to lower, so that you can really start to experience more pattern recognition. Now, pattern recognition is something that permaculturalists, permies, we love pattern recognition because it's all about systems and how you know, seemingly disparate pieces of information within a system come together to create patterns. And basically, you know, when you use permaculture to design a garden, let's say, or a social environment, and you start to create these flow states, things happen without effort in a lot of ways. And so, you know, we like that. We like that our gardens grow themselves, and things are happening, and the systems are taking care of themselves, and you have good inputs and good yield and good production, and things are flowing really well that way. And the way that you get that learning experience to heighten through a flow state is in the experience of memory that these chemicals produce. Especially towards the end, you get the endorphins that come off of a flow state. All of that really stimulates your brain to say, this is it. This is what's awesome. This is what feels good, and helps you to sort of remember what that is and remember what took place during that flow state. So if you spend a little bit of time this week, one of the things that you can do to help find your flow state is to think back to different times that you had experienced really incredible flow states where things just connected, you lost track of time, you forgot about yourself, and things just, you know, they just happened, they just worked, and it went very well. And as you go back and think about it, you can think about, you know, how that experience was. Was it a physical experience? Were you doing a physical activity? Were you doing a mental activity? Or were you in a social situation where you were really highly engaged with the people around you? And what you might find is some patterns that you start to recognize over time of what those different experiences were embedded in. And it may be that, you know, being physical, or, you know, reading a book, you know, being in that mental state of reading or writing, or doing something intellectual with a hobby may be that thing that kicks it off for you. Or being in a group of people and doing something, you know, really awesome, like, you know, Grateful Dead shows were really a place where people found flow and community, and that sort of thing, you know, so concerts and you know, other learning type environments as well. That can help you to find what your natural flow state is. And one of the ways you can do that is to go to Flow Fundamentals and their website, Google it, and I'll provide a link on the Google group, on our Facebook group. But Google Flow Fundamentals, and you'll be able to look at your flow profile after taking an assessment and kind of get a sense for where you are now. But thinking about physical, mental, or social can really help you to determine what triggers your flow state. So one of the things that's really fascinating about the data that's coming out of flow, and why this is so important, is that as anyone is mastering a new skill set, for instance, Michael Gladwell talks about the 10,000 hours that it takes in order to master a given skill, whether it's, you know, learning a language, or learning a musical instrument, or, you know, your career endeavor that you have really come to learn to master, and the hours that it takes to do that. Apparently, being in flow and learning while you're in flow, learning that skill set that you want to learn, can reduce those hours in half. So you can get to mastery in 5,000 instead of 10,000 hours, which is pretty amazing. So, so there's some good stuff to be learned from flow states. So I encourage you to think about that. And this challenge today, for tomorrow, for your last day before our awareness, our next challenge that comes up, what I'd like you to do is to get out and take a sunrise walk, because in the morning, in sunrise, you can start to see patterns emerging as things start to awaken, and it's a quieter time, and it provides you some reflection and a possible way for you to get into a flow state as well. So, you know, as we think about how we can appreciate air and what it means for us, these are some of the tips and tricks that I offer to you. And certainly, you know, getting out in the morning and moving your body, getting the airflow going, getting your lymphatic system moving. And, you know, the air quality is generally better in the morning because a lot of the pollution has subsided during the night. The cars aren't moving as much yet, so there's not as much exhaust pollution as well. So it's a really good time to take some deep breaths and just experience the beauty that's around you. So enjoy. And next week, we will start our next challenge, our third challenge, on awareness. And we're going to get into some of the behavioral psychology around our food choices, because we're going to start to take a few vacations as we get deeper into this challenge. And so things are going to start to ramp up a little bit, and awareness is going to be really key to helping you as we go forward. So I look forward to talking to you more about that on Monday, and definitely in the comments on the web, on the Facebook group, let us know how things are going for you, and if you have any questions or any insights that you've had in doing some of these homeworks and challenges that we've put up for you. All right. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.